Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the Corporal, bringing you a review on Sergeant Stalker. Almost said Slaughter again. When I was a kid, I have a weird history with this figure because as a kid, I always thought Sergeant Stalker and Sergeant Slaughter were the same character because you didn't see him a lot in the cartoon. And because of that, whenever I remember telling my dad, "No, it's Sergeant Slaughter." It's like, and my dad's like, "It's not Sergeant Slaughter," because my dad's a wrestling fan, so he knows who Sergeant Slaughter really is. And I'm like, I'm like, my head was like, they don't have the rights to Sergeant Slaughter, so they they just changed him up, but it's supposed to be Sergeant Slaughter. And I didn't know, me being a dumb kid, so I always wanted a Sergeant Stalker figure because I thought it was Sergeant Slaughter. And then later I learned, like, oh no, they're two different characters. So that's why that's why he looks different and all that. So I have a weird history with him, and it's funny that out of the classified figures, he ends up being the first one I get and all that. And learning a bit about him because I didn't know much about him because the cartoon didn't really show him that much. It was like, hey, this guy's pretty cool, but I heard his voice for the first time. I'm like, that's not right. That doesn't sound right because I look at him and I think Sergeant Johnson. I think he should be like Johnson. Like, imagine if they remake GI Joe and just give him Johnson's voice actor. Like, that will be fun and everything. And it's like, and learning more about his history, like this guy, like, oh yeah, no, this guy is better than Duke. Like, I want a series where Duke is not the main character, but we have Sergeant Stalker. Like, that would be awesome. But you got to give him Johnson's voice, okay? You got to be we got to have Johnson versus Cobra, okay? But anyway, let's get the figure out of his packaging and all that. Careful, men. It is a Joe. Every time we capture a Joe, they figure out how to get out and ruin my plans. But mein Führer, we shall. Surely this Joe will not escape. With my brainwave scanner and my probe, he will be too submissive to. He'll be too submissive. Shut up! I don't want to hear any of your nonsense. Okay, Mindbender? Serpentor was a terrible idea. Okay, just use the darn probe. Nobody be dumb. Okay? Just use the darn probe. Okay, Copperhead? You're gonna restrain him. Just keep your revolver pointed at him at all times. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Like, if he twitches, you fire. Okay, understand that? Nobody mess this up. Hey, Fang Face, how about you say that up close? What did you say to me? That's right. Ah! Copperhead, immobilize him before he gets. Think fast, Fang Face. Ow! Don't throw things! Mindbender, pull it out! Yes. Not so fast! Okay, none of this went to plan. If war is love, then call me Cupid. Not like I was gonna go full straight up with it. Like, the freaking Zaymont was not supposed to fall over. I had this all choreographed in my head, and I was gonna have Slice jump in and do the whole thing, but no, like, like the like the Play-Doh didn't stick right. So he looks like he was supposed to stick under his nose, like he broke his nose. But yeah, none of it because the thing is, one Tomek was Zaymont wasn't supposed to fall over, and two, I didn't realize how much this figure just doesn't want to stand. Because I didn't pull him out originally, I should have. But yeah, that was me attempting to do voice acting. Okay, I know I'm a natural at it, but yeah. Okay, let's get into a proper review of this figure. First, I want to do something. See, like, look, he just doesn't want to stand. I gotta put him on his card, on his little stand. And I was gonna buy another one just for the stand, actually. But they only had one in the Ross, so they had a bunch of them, and I regret not buying them all. Anything, but just want to do something. Zaymont, I need you for something. Wet Willie! I had to do it. But yeah, so we have Sergeant Stalker. And already you could see, like, with my whole blundering of my entire skit, that he doesn't like to stand. Let's get his weapons out. So we have the suppressed. Great, my suppressor ended up being bent. Let's see if that fixes it. I had to put it into water. Does the bag come out? No. But is this a 1911? It kind of looks like a 1911. No, yeah. It might be a Beretta. No, it's a 1911. It's a 1911. Okay, so he comes with a suppressed 1911. So I like the suppressor. Let's see. I want to see something. Yeah. I think it looks better on some other weapon. It's kind of loose in the other weapons. But yeah, look. It even has a hole for blast effects. So. But it's a smaller peg. Okay. It's going to be a lot harder to do skits when I don't have sound effects. So I'm going to have to make the gun noises with my mouth. Pew, 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 pew. When I was a kid, it was a lot easier. And they took out my tonsils. So I'm just not having practice. Let me zoom out. I was putting the gun into his holster. And let's put the suppressor in there as well. Sometimes I wonder, like, why have the suppressors are really for your hearing, but like playing in video games and all that, it's really useful to the point that why run anything that isn't suppressed? You know what I mean? Like, they have to. Video games either have to do the suppressor. I wish there was a mechanic in games where, like, the suppressor actually works like how they're supposed to work in real life and not in movies. Where it's like you take damage because of your heat, because the gun's too loud. Like, you take hearing damage, or you hear like a loud ringing sound. The grease gun. Does the mag come out? Yes, it does. Look at that. Looks nice. What? Stock does not fold. It looks like a grease gun, but it might not be. It looks like some kind of weird Heckler and Koch. Has a blast effects. Let me take out the suppressor and see. Does it? does it fit on the grease gun? Let's see. Oh. Come on. Come on. No, it's in there. It's really in there. No. That's a disappointment. But let's see. Take out the backpack. Oh, the backpack has a little spot for the mag. I guess you got to put it in through the bottom. That's weird. Like, how do you get this in there? You put it in through the top. Okay. You put it. Huh. It doesn't go in all the way. So I guess the grease gun will not fit with the magazine on. So you have to do that. It's some kind of SMG. And let's look. So his gear kind of gets in the way of the peg hole. There we go. Does his head comes off? That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Because I'm not doing research on the figure. I'm just doing research on the character. Take out the knife, which is really. It looks more like a toy knife than it should. It looks like he actually brought a toy knife. It has that thick blade, but yeah, I like this sheath. That actually looks like a proper sheath. Okay, and now he has this LMG looking weapon or saw. And let's see, does this come out? Yes, it does. The whole thing is like one piece. I wonder, because it looks like it has a similar entry port. So, yeah, you could technically do that. You could technically put in this mag, and don't know why you would, but if it's and honestly, they didn't need to do that. They didn't need to put the bullets in there. I think we would have been fine with just like it being one solid thing, but now they made a whole thing out of it. Let's get into his hand. Man, his hands they're very stiff. Yeah, no, he has very stiff hands. They feel like a harder plastic too. Okay. There we go. Articulation-wise, his part of this joint is stiff. Yeah. But there we go. We got it to bend. So, on the other side, is it the same way? Yeah, it's tight there. It's tight on both of them, actually. Okay. He doesn't want to stay on his pegs, but let's take those off right now. So yeah, it's stiff, but I got it to bend. Probably loosen it up a little bit. Play with your toys. Get them all nice and loose. He's rocking out. Need to get Metalhead. Did they make him Metalhead? This one. Oh my goodness, it's stuck in there. Yeah, no, he needs a bath. Let's see if I could pose him properly. Yeah, probably the last time I'm going to do a little weird stop motion of the figure coming out of their container, because it's just so difficult with some of these figures. I didn't. I don't know why he doesn't want to. Maybe it has to do with the stiffness, or he has the rotating legs. Which is weird. Why doesn't he want to stand up? It's like his legs, his feet are not like aligned properly. There we go. But yeah, he's part of the original 13. He's one of the main 4 guys with Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and oh crud, I can't remember the last 4. What? Dang, this is gonna bother me now. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. Well, someone's gonna know. Someone's gonna know I'm gonna figure it out right after I finish the video. They were part of the same squad. Back in Nam. Was it Nam? I think it was Nam. They fought in Nam. Yeah. And I like the figure and everything. I just feel like his gear, it looks too new. Because the grease gun looks proper. I assume it's I don't know if it's a grease gun or if it's some kind of Heckler and Koch thing. I keep calling it a grease gun, but it looks like a Heckler and Koch kind of weapon. It looks like the thing that comes to mind is the freaking assault rifle from Fallout 3. I got a mod for the thing to be in the game, so on my Fallout 4 playthrough. But yeah, it reminds me of that, but I think they're supposed to be like grease guns in the lore. I think he looks better with the grease gun than he does with his LMG. You could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this is based off a real thing or not. I assume they take liberties on what they can and can't make firearm wise. Yeah, giving him that, I think he looks way better. Like you give him like a M16, I think he comes off with the whole Nom look versus giving him a suppressed 1911. Get out of there. Okay, I don't like this suppressor. I don't like the strap either. Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't know. It's stuck in there. There we go. I'm looking at it. I'm just looking at it, trying to figure out, like, how is it supposed to go in there again? I got it in there. I could do without that. If it's going to be so difficult with me, I could do without it. The knife. I don't like the look of the knife. It looks like a kitchen knife to me, but like the other figures have come with better knives. But it works. Kind of wish it attached like a bayonet. I think that would have been cool. But yeah, you just take this out and give him this. Perfectly fine. I love it a lot. I like it a lot more. And also, it's like the thing with the suppressor. Going back to that, it's like, why not have? I thought to myself, why not have a suppressor for his rifle and his SMG? And I remembered like, oh no, the suppressor will melt. Yeah, certain weapons can't have suppressors because the barrel gets too hot. And the backpack sticks onto the outfit, but it doesn't want to stick onto the peg. I think there's just enough gap between them that it doesn't want to stay there. But I kind of wish it was a regular backpack and not this thing that Copperhead uses. It's very similar. If you could tell, I got the Python Patrol Copperhead. and all that, and just decided, oh, he should have the that one. But I might switch out the bullets. They are a different color. They're gold. Silver one's more accurate. I could say it's just brass tipped. So yeah. So cool character. The figure looks nice. I like the textures. Like this is like obviously a different thing, but what's he wearing? Is he wearing a turtleneck like in the jungle? I don't know. And I have history with this character, so it's nice that I got him. And everything. And once you get him to stand up properly and all that, he looks really cool. Take away the LMG, it's like, yeah. But yeah, he doesn't want to stay on his stand. That's so weird. I think let's take a look at his feet. I think the pegs are just a little too small, maybe? Too short? Or maybe, yeah, okay, we got him. I'm looking at the box. I keep trying to do that method to try to preserve look of it, and it doesn't really work. Also, his expression. I took a picture of the figures with the Sergeant Stalker in the box, and his expression, it just conveys what my thought was, that Cobra looks like just an evil version of the Men at Work. But yeah, looking at the figure, he has the grease gun. I don't know if this will get... I don't know if he should be holding it like that. But he has his knife and his pistol, but no suppressor. You see the suppressor's not there. So yeah, I wish they didn't include it. If it's not going to fit right, it's not going to look right. So I guess if I need to... Yeah, I really need to give him a bath. But supposedly I could get this in there. It's nice and thin enough. Come on, get inside. No, but you get... Dang it. Those hands are really stiff. It's a very stiff figure. Stay tuned for the exciting footage of me finagling this figure. Okay, anyway. But yeah, his expression doesn't really match the one on the box. He looks more like he's seen stuff. And this one's just so serious. But kind of getting that look. You can remake the pose. So, what I recommend, well, he's the original 13, so collectors are going to want him. And $10 is $10. So, like, yeah, get him if you... Any classified figure you could find for $10, just buy it on the spot. Okay, but save some for other people. Don't be that guy. Don't be a scalper, okay? Don't be taking them all. I can understand the urge to want a troop build. Actually, no, you know what? I get it. If you're gonna like army, if you find like a bunch of Cobra troopers for $10, yeah, you buy out the whole stock. Okay, but only if you're gonna actually army build them. Don't do it if you're gonna be a jerk about it and just be selling them online. Okay, come on, don't be that guy. Okay, and knowing is half the battle. Well, thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, where's my figure? Oh, here it is. Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen. You all have a nice day. Bye-bye.